Guys, welcome back to another short vlog, except this time I'm not driving. I'm in a dog park with my baby boy so that he can get all his energy out. Since I have been sick, he has been with my father, and my dad is very much so an outside man. Majority of the time, the only time he is in the house, like stuck in the house or just like literally in the house, is when it's raining, he's sick, he's asleep. Yeah, I can't even say injured because he'll still be out if he's injured. So yeah, so since Hendrix collectively was with him for about a month on and off, he has now become an outside dog. So whereas he was house trained, potty trained in the house, that's a no-go. The only thing he will do technically in the house, which is on the balcony, because I have faux carpet on the balcony, faux fur on the balcony, is pee. But that's about it. If he has to use the restroom, poop and stuff, we have to take him outside to like dirt, which means I have to wake up in the morning to take him outside. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But he, and funny enough, like, he is very much so trained again, because he does not, well, he made a mess in the house once, and that's because it was raining that particular day, and bougie sir didn't like being wet, so he peed and then was like, yeah, I'm going in the house. So I ended up leaving for a few minutes, and he used the restroom in the house. So that's been the only time there's been an accident. So even peeing, he holds his pee, or like if we notice that he's like at the screen door, at the balcony door, we'll slide the door open, he'll pee, come back in. So yeah, so we're at the bark park, because that's what they call it, the bark park, and we've been trying to play fetch. However, he has the attention span of Dory, which is ironic because I have the same thing. So we both can't have horrible, attention spans. Like, somebody got to be the better person. Like, how do I have anxiety and you're my service animal and your ass got anxiety? Like, how does that work? But anyway, so the point of this video today was so let me say the backstory. So I have social anxiety. As I said, I'm not really a fan of people anymore, or talking to people, mainly because for a long time I never liked small talk. So usually when you meet new people, it's small talk in order to get to like real conversations, unless like that topic is, being stated. So also, I just don't like being around loud noises. It overstimulates me. Don't like it. So I went to IKEA to get me a new chest of drawers, and I had to go to this one area to wait for them to bring it out for my car. So I sat down. This black guy, he sat next to me, and he began to talk to me. What he did was he asked me where I got my outfit from, and if it was for women or if it was unisex and for women. So I told him, I was like, well, I got it from Fashion Nova. I said, but truth be told, like I tell people at my other job, when it comes to sunglasses, I don't say whether it's feminine or not, because it depends on your taste. I said, because there are sunglasses that I've sold that could be considered feminine and men bought, and then there's some that could be considered masculine and women bought. Also, if you hear loud noises in the back, there's like building, they're repairing part of the building. So anyway, so me and him started to talk, and as he's talking, it was weird. It was really different. So initially I was like, Lord, please make this man stop talking to me. But as he continued to talk, what he was talking about wasn't small talk. So it wasn't giving me anxiety, because he wasn't talking about small talk. He was literally talking about something that I could respond to, in comparison to like, what's your favorite color? Or what are you doing here? Or what are you waiting for? Or where are you going to put, stuff like that. So coming to find out, he was a therapist. And so talking with him, he's very mean. He's mean. And he was like, yes, my well, he was talking first, and he was saying that he was a therapist, and one thing about him is he is very mindful, and he makes his clients very mindful of the words that they use. So he's like, for example, I don't say good morning, I say great morning. He said, because your words mean something. So instead of being have a good day, you have a fantastic day. And stuff like that. Then he told me about words that he made up, because his name is Suave. So he was like, have a suave-tastic day, or suavelet. So he changed something from excellent to his name. And so he made a good point. He was like, there are certain things. This is what I'll take that back. This is how I said that he was mean, because he was talking about like balance. And he said everything's on a scale. He was like, you need to be balanced. He said, because if you're on one end of the spectrum and you're passive, that means you're a people pleaser and you just let people say and do whatever you want to them. Or you're on the other side and you're aggressive and you don't have like that peace and understanding. So he was like, so what do you have when you're in the middle? So I go, well, passive aggressive. He turned to me and he was like, no, assertive. And I was like, you're mean. And he was like, my patients tell me that, but I'm not mean, I'm assertive. And I was like, okay. So we continued to talk, and he was just like, I was telling him about how, I have social media and how I have a problem with promoting myself, and like imposter syndrome. And he was basically like, well, here's the thing. Why do you care about what other people say? He was like, you're going to have people that relate to you, and you're going to have people that don't relate to you. He was like, there are 3 things that people can't take from you. It's your mind, your soul, and I think he said your spirit. And he was like, those are the 3 things that can't be taken away from you. And he said, so if you have that, you have what you need. So I end up a few, like, I want to say maybe hours or later on that day, I saw a video about buffaloes. And it says that buffaloes do not like water. They don't like rain. They don't like storms. So what they do is, when they see a storm coming, what they do is they run into the storm in comparison to running away from the storm. Because by running into the storm, that means that problem is only going to last for a little while, because you're running into it, which means that as you're running into it, it's running over you, and you're going to be on the other side of through, right? So the guy was like, think about it like that. When you have problems coming your way, instead of running away from it, run to it, because the faster you run to it, the faster you go through it. And I was like, that it just opened my eyes to a lot of things, because me and my therapist was talking about like learning my triggers, what's triggering me, and she was like, her thing was like, addressing your inner child, inner inner adolescent, inner middle schooler, inner high schooler, inner college, or college age. And I was like, how in the hell am I supposed to talk or heal or address that age Janae in this age? Janae is messed up. Like, how am I supposed to do that? And so one day I got triggered, but it was my inner child, like the younger age of me, that was triggered. And I was just like, one, I acknowledged it, and instead of running away, because I suppress a lot of my any problems. Like, for example, from the age of maybe 16 until 23, yes, from the age of 16 to 23, that life has been suppressed. There are some things that I remember, but if you ask me like the tiniest thing, or if it wasn't like something that was traumatic or something that was big, I don't remember anything about those years. So yeah, so it's left like that, where she's like, you need to stop suppressing it, because when you're suppressing it, you're running away from it. And so this one, when the moment came and I was triggered, I was like, okay. So, and then she gave me tools. She was like, when someone triggers you, remember, she was like, look at it this way. So address that you've been triggered. Figure out who in you is triggered. Is it your current age? Is it your teenage, younger? Like, who is it that's that's triggered by this, and then look at the person or the situation that triggered you. Was it in malice? If it's in malice, set up boundaries and, and keep from that happening again. However, if it was not in a state of malice and the person did not know that that was a trigger for you, but they did it, then have that conversation with them, advising, hey, this particular thing you said, did, or didn't do triggered me, and I'm just saying that so that we can avoid having this situation again. And so with that one situation where I was triggered, I did just that. I was like, okay, I stopped. I knew I was triggered because I was freaking out internally because I don't like showing vulnerability. So internally, I was just like you can see it. You could have seen it in my eyes, but how I was actually like, maybe I would say hyperventilating or like wanting to cry it was in the inside. And so I was like, okay, stop. So who is triggered right now? So I addressed that it was my my middle school to teenage years. And I realized what it was. Like, where did that trauma come from? And then from there, I looked at the people who did it, and I said it was not in malice, and had the conversation. And so from there, it was just like that analogy with the buffaloes. I ran into the storm instead of running away from the storm. And then I also learned what therapists or people in general mean when they say, address or heal your inner child. And it's not just saying that you're going in and you have all the tools that's needed to, because you yourself are still working on, yourself and your mental health. When it comes to healing said inner child, I realize it's more so, what does 5-year-old Janae need? What does 6 or 7 or 10-year-old Janae need in this moment? Is it a hug? Does she need affirmation? Does she need just to be heard? Does she need a moment of self-care? Like, is she overwhelmed? Does she need a nap? Because sometimes you got to realize, especially I can only speak for myself and for my demographics. A lot of times, Black women, we have guilt for wanting to rest. Like with me being, having surgery, I've been moving when I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to be resting. And then finally, once everything was in order, because I moved, I laid down and just started to rest. And then I had guilt for literally just wanting to rest. So, so you address, what is it? So what triggered you, and what age of yourself was triggered? And think about it. What do they need in that moment from adult you? So like, for example, I hate, and it triggers me when I say something, like if I'm trying to tell a story and a person just completely disregards what I'm saying. And I know that it's from my early adolescent to about middle school. No, it's probably the majority of my childhood, like from being young all the way to being in high school. Yeah. So that's a trigger response for me. So what happens is, when someone does that, if I'm not in the mental space to address it, or depending on who it is, then I just shut down. Don't ask me anything else, because I'm just not going to talk. Or like for 2 people that are very, very close to me, I know they don't listen to me. They don't listen to a thing I say. So when I speak to them in very basic conversation. How are you doing? I'm fine. What are you doing? I'm working, or I'm asleep, or I'm, taking Hinges for a walk. It's very short, because I know if I try to go into a complete, scenario, or tell them something that I was excited about my day, they're not going to listen. So, when I do slip up, because there are times where my inner child wants to tell something, and as the adult me, I don't pay attention to it, and I let whatever story it is slip out. And like, oh, guess what happened? And I did this and I did that, and then they don't hear me, or they don't listen to me. Then when it goes to addressing your inner child, I I heard you, you know. And it's not like looking in the mirror, talk to yourself, unless that's what you want to do. But for me, I heard you, Janae. And that was a good time. And we are excited for ourselves. And you know what? There are other people, if you decide to share the story again, that will be excited with you. But at the end of the day, we're excited for ourselves and for this adventure. And that's showing up for your inner child. So I say all that to say today, whenever you face a storm. Now, also, one thing about it is healing is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's not linear. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have days and days. And it's especially for me being type 1 bipolar. So there are going to be days where I am triggered and I don't have the ability to speak to whoever is triggered, whether it's younger child, current child. I just don't have it. There are going to be days where I'm depressed and there's nothing that's self-care that can bring me up. And then there's moments where I'm baseline. And you know what? I'm just okay in that moment. So you have to realize that in general, mental health, healing, life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And as long as you just keep trying, continue to push, and find the right people that support you is important, because we can't do life alone. We are literally meant to be with people. And just think about it like this: quality is better than quantity. So yeah, that's the story for today. I am currently trying to piece together my vlog from my surgery. However, that's 30 days. However, that's 30 days of videos that I have to take from my phone to my computer. So I'm still working on that. This one will go away before that one. So other than that, that's all I have to say, you guys. So, and plus this man decided that he wanted to turn on this machine as I'm talking. But that's all I want to say. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this vlog helps you in any way. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next vlog. Hendrix, come here, bubs. Hello, can you say bye-bye? Can you say bye? Can you say bye? Can you say bye? Say, look, say bye. Peace, you guys.